We talking jit, said it's time for a brand new episode of Talking Jit.
So, I mean, the obvious elephant in the room, which I didn't even know about this when I asked you to do this. I literally found out about your stroke right like as you agreed to do this. And then I saw the post you made. And that's when I messaged you again. I'm like, oh, I'm sure you've done this a million times, but it's just such a good message that sticks out to me because I came from an MMA background, but obviously I'm more jiu-jitsu now. But there's a mental toughness that we're voluntarily putting ourselves through this BS every day, right? Getting in involuntary yoga and all that kind of stuff done on us. But your situation is pretty unique, and I don't want to take away from your story. I'll let you explain it. Tell me what happened so that I don't misconstrue it throughout the rest of the time.
Yeah, so I had competed at a tournament out in Lakeland with my friend, and the only thing that was weird was like I had a lot of anxiety that day. I remember each match I did, I was like, I want to go home, which is not really normal for me. That's like normal before a tournament, like the anxiety, but not during where I've competed in each match. I was like, I feel weird, I want to just leave. But when we got back that day, my eye just like stopped working. My left eye just started looking at the floor and completely went out of place. And, my vision was blurred and doubled, and it was really terrifying. So luckily we were pretty close to a hospital. My friend drove me there. And we eventually, the doctors had thought I had a stroke. And, once they did the MRI on my brain, they had found a small clot. So, I had an ischemic stroke. And then, come to find out, I posted about it publicly, and somehow this guy got in touch with me, Chris Martin, and he also had a stroke. And what he's been doing is finding all these people in jiu-jitsu that have had strokes. And it's just remarkable. Like it's a bit scary to realize how common it is in our sport. And I mean, I can tell you the same thing. When I posted that video, I got so many messages from people who've had them. And I mean, it's like anything basically that twists and cranks and damages your neck can cause damage to your arteries. And if you damage your arteries, you can have stroke. It can cause a clot.
And it's like, so I have a couple friends too. Now that we're talking about this, I have a couple friends that and I even worry about myself because I have a neck injury from a car accident. But there's been times where I was like competing, like my last 2 IBJJFs, when I walked off the mat after like a match, I got really, really dizzy and my legs felt really, really weak. And I was just sitting there just trying to catch my breath, and I couldn't figure out why I was lightheaded. And then I have another friend who she competed. I think she got put in a choke as well. And then the same thing, she started losing vision. And I think she went to the hospital, got medical attention that night too. And she didn't know what happened to her. She was like, this is the weirdest thing. But I never thought it, like I said, with the disc in my neck, I wonder sometimes if pressure gets on the arteries and could do the same exact thing, It is really scary.
Yeah. No, I mean, I wonder about a lot of things. And, it is scary. But the one thing I hope is that I bring more awareness than fear to people. I know that people are going to be scared when they realize the truth. But at the end of the day, I think it's more about awareness and just, being careful about the positions you put yourself in and how much damage you're willing to take. People got to be more willing to like rest for one. And then number two, like tap out and concede when you're in certain positions. I think that's the most helpful thing that people can do. But I have had people reach out who've had scary symptoms too, like you're talking about as well. Like they like, what was that? Maybe that was something. And I'm not a doctor, so I don't know.
Did it make you more fearless or more cautious?
I think it's kind of both. I think it's like more fearless in life and maybe more cautious on the mat. I have to admit, sometimes my ego still, even with what happened to me, my ego can be bad, and I can really fight through chokes. I'm not one to give up too easily. Before I went to PGF, I got submitted maybe like twice in the last like 3 years. PGF was a crazy wake up call because I got submitted 5 times at PGF, and that's just in one 6-week period. So that was like a major jump, but it was a different kind of tournament. But Yeah, the main thing with me is I just don't drill chokes. Like the only reason I don't like telling people about it is because I want people to try to choke me in practice because I'm a professional competitor. I need people to try their hardest against me when I'm training. But
Right.
but when we're drilling chokes and like it's like over and over, like I just stand up and I don't even really explain why to a lot of people. I'm just like, nah, I just got a bad neck, and I let other people drill them. So this is the main thing is I really don't like to drill chokes. I don't like to get choked more than I need to.
Yeah, you don't want to put mileage on that, right?
Yeah, it's like if I'm
You've
gonna get
only got
choked,
so
I
many
want it to
miles.
be in the round where I'm like able to defend it and stop it, you know, or like in comp. I'll
Yeah.
save it for that.
What's something you cared about before the stroke that feels like, I don't know, irrelevant now? Like, is there anything you let go of afterwards?
Yeah, I think the big one, and it's not perfect yet. I still have my problems, but like money. Like I was always really, I would avoid spending money as much as possible. Like I didn't like to spend money on going out or doing some fun activity. Like I always just would rather save it. And I realized like, man, I could have died and everything I saved would just be gone anyway. So, you should spend your money to have fun. You work hard to make money and money should be used to have fun and do things you enjoy. If you want something, you should buy it within reason, you know. That's a big
Yeah.
thing I took away.
Is are you making money professionally now, or are you having a hard time
Yeah.
finding money in the sport?
Oh, it's
Yeah.
hard. I mean, I'm doing it, but it's very hard. I mean, it's not easy, but I finally am getting paid just to show up to gigs. That's like a big change that happened in 2026 is like I've won a bunch of cash brackets, but like those aren't getting paid to show up. That's like if you happen to win the tournament, you're getting the money, which was like my first
Right.
step in making money competitively. But this is the first year where I have gotten paid just to show up. I've already done it on 2 events, and then I've been invited to 2 more that haven't happened yet where I'm gonna get paid just to show up. And it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool because it's like a good step in the right direction for me.
That's badass. How do you get to that point? Is it just doing a bunch and getting recognition? Is it creating a brand, or is it just like you're mostly like, how do you get to the point where you start making money? Is it who you know?
Yeah, I think
All
it's
the
a little bit
above?
of everything. I think overall, yeah, it's just the work I put in and like the resume I have is like I'm finally, I started taking competition more serious really when I came back from the stroke. So like in 2022, it's 2026. So 4 years of me grinding and competing as much as I could at the highest level I could find. And I
Mhm.
finally am at that point. I've been on enough shows, I've been recognized enough times, I've gotten a couple of good wins, and like people finally want to invite me to their shows. I used to have to sign up for super fights, maybe even pay. I'm at the point now where at least I don't really have to pay to compete anymore. Like people invite me to enough shit where I'm like able to just go to whatever I get invited to, which is nice. I recommend everybody
That's
does the new breeds and the Nagas and all that. IBJJF, ADCC. I recommend everybody does all that if you want to be a pro. Do as many as you can. And I know it's expensive. You might not be able to do them all. You might have to raise some money, ask for some help, but you want to get your experience and you want to get out there and show people you're competing and winning. And you will get invited to stuff eventually, and just keep doing it.
what's the biggest thing you're getting out of it? Like, out of jujitsu? I mean, if you're not chasing the money, but you're going seriously in jujitsu, what's the biggest thing you're getting out of it?
Self-esteem,
Oh,
I'm a
nice.
big fan of Mike Menser. I don't know if you know who that is, but he was a bodybuilder in the '80s, and he's kind of had a renaissance. People really like him again now. His stuff is popping up all over the internet. But I really love what he said because I felt the same about jujitsu. And when people asked him, like, why should somebody get into bodybuilding and working out? And he said the number one reason is for self-esteem because you want to feel good about yourself, like getting in shape, looking better, feeling better makes you feel good about yourself. And I think that's the number one reason to do jujitsu. Like people say like, oh, I want to learn self-defense or I want to do this or that. But I think the number one thing is like you legitimately feel better about yourself when you learn a skill and go do something that's difficult, makes you feel good. I think that's the number one reason people should do jujitsu.
You So do you call yourself obsessed? Would you say you're, like, deeply
Yeah.
obsessed with the sport?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Sounds like it.
Yeah.
If you're working out, taking rest days, you know, putting yourself out there, you got a pretty decent social media following too. When When they
Yeah.
told me you're coming to the gym and they're like, you got to stop by and try to get a round or two with this guy. I was like, I checked you out and I'm like, oh shoot, this
Yeah.
guy's doing his thing. You don't see that too often in the sport,
I've gotten
It's
lucky. I've had
respectable
a
for sure.
it's not what people think when you get a large following, to be honest. Like, the majority of my following is probably from, like, 7 or 8 reels. Because when you have a couple
Really?
reels that hit a few million views, you can get, like,
Hmm.
2,000 followers off of 1 reel. So if people think I'm, like, consistently making videos that get a ton of views, like, I'm very hot and cold. It's just I've happened to
Hmm.
make a couple of reels that got super viral and, like, it blows your account up, you know? And the thing that's bad is some of them are just memes that have nothing to do with jujitsu or what I do. So, like, my follower niche is not good because it's people who don't even care about what I actually do. So, you know, you definitely want followers who are engaged with what you do. Like, if you get followers the way I did, it could be a little rough. It's better than buying them. Like, buying them is a real shithole and will ruin your account. My account's not ruined,
Yeah.
but it's not ideal because I probably have like 10,000 followers that like don't care about jujitsu. So yeah,
Well, with a name like Darce Daddy, it's easy to market. I feel like that's a really marketable name, especially in our
yeah.
sport.
No, that one stuck.
You're,
I didn't even like it at first. My friend gave me it, years ago when I was a blue belt, and that was like all I would do was anaconda and Darce chokes. And they started calling me it at the gym, and like I for some reason I didn't even like it at first, but it like caught on, and everybody kept calling me it, and then like more people called me it. I also resisted Instagram for a long time, and people just kept telling me to get an Instagram. So then when I made that and I did the handle, now it's like a brand. Like, people actually know it. You know, I run into people all the time at
I
tournaments.
it's kind of a good setup because like I was heading when Robert and they put like in a group chat like this guy's coming in, you should come in, learn from him, meet him. I had a class to teach where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna stop by real quick, see what's up, and then I'm gonna go teach my class. And when I looked your name up, like they told me, I saw Darce Daddy, so it made triggered me to be like, all right, don't get Darced. Like
That's what
no
happens
matter
with
what,
everybody
don't get
too.
Darced.
Everybody.
So I was like, maybe it's a setup.
It seems like that because I don't really do them anymore. Like, I do. I
Yeah, I
always
mean,
can. They're always there, but like I'm so much better at other stuff, and I think it throws a lot of people off.
dude, so actually I got a question for myself. If so someone in my shoes, right? I don't get a lot of roles like I got with you or like a lot of good like it's kind of hard. I have to kind of travel around and hop around from gym to gym or cross train along
Mhm.
just to get some good high level roles. What advice would you give someone like me if I was looking to just even get better, not even compete, but just wanting to test myself?
Well, I mean, I definitely believe in commuting. If you like want to train with better people, you do have to make the drive. I mean, my main gym is Wagner Rocha Martial Arts, and it can be sometimes 2.5 hours from me with traffic. So like, I get there 4 days a week. But
Damn.
this is all I do. I don't have a full time job, so I'm not as tied down. But also, I mean, you can get better with the resources you have, even if the people around you are not necessarily the highest level. I mean, the two things is one, you can focus on skill development, study, and just focus on doing the things that you want to get better at. Even with lower level people, you just go over and over trying to find what you're looking for in live rounds and drilling.
Mhm.
And then two, you got to build your army. You got to build up the people around you. Invest in the people around you and do everything you can to make their jujitsu better so that they can one day be really good training partners for you. Like, you can build your training partners. It's not easy, but it is something you can absolutely do. And it's a great
I
investment down the line.
I love that you say that because that is my motto in the gym. It's like if I can make like so a lot of guys they'll gatekeep, right? So they
Yeah,
won't
for
teach
sure.
people how to beat what they're doing. My outlook is the exact same as yours. I'm so glad you freaking said that because it's not too often, especially in our sport, has ego a lot of times. It's like if I teach this guy how to defend the crucifix or like the stuff I
Yeah.
like to do, the I can't think of it, the trap, the Kimura trap stuff. I'm like, I could gatekeep that and just keep trying it, or I can teach them that, and then now I have to find the next step why I'm gonna get better at it? Or how to
Yeah.
hold me down better if it's like if I got like a large training partner, maybe a purple belt who is big, but he's just not putting his pressure in the right spots. If I teach that guy how to put his pressure in the right spots, now I get the challenge of trying to beat that pressure with a better opponent. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I'm
100%. Well,
glad
it's
you
like,
said that.
do you want to beat those guys in the gym, or do you want to get better at jujitsu? Like, is your ego so
Mhm.
bad that you just want to win against these training partners every day, or do you just want to get better at jujitsu? You know, it's funny because Robert and me had that same conversation because he said there's a guy there and he likes him, but it pisses him off because the guy, I think he's a brown belt or something. But he said every time Robert finally gets the better of him, the guy's immediately asking, like, how do I beat that? You know, to the coach. And it pisses Robert off. But I'm like, dude, that's good though, because he's just forcing your elevation because
Mhm.
every time you finally get the better of him, he's immediately trying to learn how to stop that or to counter it. Which, by the way, shows me that guy's got a good attitude for jujitsu because he's just always trying to learn and get better whenever like there's a problem, you know. But it just makes you better. There's nothing it can do but make you better if somebody learns how to stop your A game, you know?
Yeah. And it also gives you like a broader toolbox. Like if
Yes.
instead of going in there and doing we all know we got the guys who go in there and do the same thing every single time they roll.
Yeah.
Same game. No matter who they're going against, they don't get uncomfortable. They don't try something new. I
Yeah.
think it makes your toolbox bigger and it makes you more creative when you roll.
I
I
think that's a sign of a pro as well. Like a pro is in there like trying stuff all the time. And again, not
Mhm.
everybody like being a pro is not important. Like I'm a pro. I don't think everybody needs to be pros or should act like pros, you know. I think it should be fun. And if trying to act like a pro makes it less fun for you, I don't think you should do it. And I think that's the problem that a lot of people have too. Is there's people with full-time jobs and families and kids and they think they need to like be a professional grappler and like they might not think it, they might not say it, but like that's how they're living and trying to act. They're trying to invest so much into it. And it's like it's a hobby. You should enjoy it and have fun and your family should definitely be the most important thing and like your career, you know, like I chose to make this my career. That's why it's so important. But if this wasn't my career, I wouldn't act like this, you know, and I think it's unhealthy. Obsession is probably unhealthy in general, you know?
Right. But it's also if you keep sharpening the blade, you know you're gonna get better and better. Like you've got so when I did MMA, I was thinking all the time, like if I had a match or an opponent, it's different than like, well, I don't know how you're usually doing it, but it's different than the tournament structure. It's like I got one guy to concentrate on, and I
Yeah,
had this
yeah.
damn thing in my head all the time. Like if I was running to cut weight, I'd be like, that guy's a block ahead of me, you know,
Yeah,
or what
yeah.
if that guy already ran today? And I guess that does stress you out to where it's unhealthy, but at the same time, it did push me enough to get better and in shape, you know? It's like a
No, you
double-edged
need
sword.
that. Yeah, I mean, I also think it's complicated. Everybody's different, right? It's like some people, the more pressure you put on them, the better they do. And then some people only do good when things are laid back and more relaxed. Like everybody is kind of different in their mind, and you got to figure out what ticks. And I think that's what a good coach will do for you, so you don't have to figure it out yourself. They're gonna figure
Mhm.
you out for you. You know, not everybody's that lucky though. You know, to have a coach like that.
Is Wagner a good coach like that?
I would say so. I'd say Wagner, he does do that. You know, he watches you and he figures out what your game is and he's very upfront with you too. He'll tell you, you know, you need to do this. Like I at trials I had a really good run and then I ran into a D1 All-American and I went, well, I should play guard with him. Even though I stand up in every single match I do and I play on top pretty much every match. I just was like, well, I'm going to play guard because I bet he's not as good on the ground and he's a really high level wrestler. So I probably don't want to wrestle with him. So I just played guard the whole time and I kept chasing this guy and playing off of my back and scooting in my butt. And it was a bad look. I ended up losing a decision. You know, it was like
Uh,
relatively close match, but I lost a decision and it doesn't look good to be on your butt the whole time. And Wagner was like, you should have fucking wrestled that guy. I'm like, but he's D1 All-American. He's like, it doesn't matter. Like that's what you do. You know, that's what you're good at. That's how you play. Like you can't change how you play because of somebody else. He's like, if he took you down, you would have just got back up and you would have kept getting up and he would have got tired. I'm like, yeah, you know,
yep.
so now I'm gonna wrestle everybody I go against because it's like, yeah, he's right. So that guy could have shot into a guillotine. Like there's a million things that could have happened if I actually wrestled him, you know? But I was too scared
Or you just
to
end up on your
play.
butt.
Yeah, it's not that hard to avoid somebody. You know, he did a good job staying away from me and yeah, it wasn't my A game. I got a good guard, but it's not my A game, you know. Should have played my A game.
Yeah. You know, that's competition. That's why, and that's another interesting thing in the sport is when you like go against the same guys over and over again, you get your like in MMA we got rounds, so you can adjust as the fight goes. But like
Yeah,
in
that's true
jiu-jitsu, it's
too.
different. It's like you got one shot. You
Yeah.
got to figure it out live. And
Yeah.
then next time you go against him, you could see something so small. That that happened to me in Fort Lauderdale. The dude put me in a lockdown, and it's as simple as just pushing back, and I could have calf sliced him or something, you know. But
Yeah, but you just weren't
in the
aware.
uh-huh. In the moment, I was chasing his arms, and I'm like, I'll get my knee out, and I'll break the guard eventually. I had his arm like really well, like almost like I was going for a straight arm bar, like kind of chasing it across his body, and he locked my knee down. I got stubborn, but had I like had a deep breath and pushed back, I could have reversed the lockdown on him and probably won
Yeah.
the final and everything. But if that ever happened again, I don't think it would happen again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that's the beauty of competition. It really is. Like that is why competition is so good because it just opens our eyes to things and you know, a lot of things are not as hard of a fix as you would think. Like a lot of things are and I also think about this. I feel like it's kind of a really ego heavy thing where it's almost like a fight and we as men if somebody beats us, we feel like, well, they're better than me, and it pisses me off.
Mhm.
But like if you play a pickup basketball game and you lose a game, I mean, are you just like, well, he's better than me at basketball? Or are you like, well, I lost that game. Let's run it back and do another one. Like, you can shoot and it could go in or it could not. And people don't think of jujitsu like that, but it is like that. It's like you have
Yeah.
another match. It's not the same match. You have a round with somebody in the gym. It's not the same round. Like anything can happen. And all you do is little adjustments a lot of the time.
One small decision can make the whole match different too. It's crazy.
I've had it happen
Like
a million times.
like I think yeah, like when you and I got those rolls in, I was like, I know the worst thing I could do right now is probably play the leg game. had had like you had we started going because I'm mostly gi, and
Yeah.
I was like, man, if I commit just a little bit too much, like with my knee, or if I give him a little bit too much space for an entry, I was like, I'm just gonna get torn up. Actually, I think you knee barred me as soon as I like got cute with it. but
Yeah.
but it's just that small decision where it's like you're playing with fire, and then fire bites. You know?
Yeah. Oh, I mean, it's like you said, the adjustment thing. Like we went, I kind of felt you out, got caught in the crucifix. I'm like, huh. Well, he's pretty good at that. So the next we go again, and I'm like, okay, well now I'm aware of that. And again, it's like it's just another game. It's like we played pickup, and you won that game. And, instead of getting all beat up about it or whatever, I'm like, all right, well let's play again and see. And that's everything. Like,
Do you,
and I used to have so much anger and stuff when I would lose in practice or whatever, and now like I really don't care. Like every time I lose,
mhm.
like if you didn't catch me in that, I won't be aware of that. Not just because of you, but for like future matches and training, whatever. Like it's just so good. Whenever somebody beats you, you should be thankful because it just shows you something you weren't thinking about.
Yeah, dude, and vice versa. Like you went, so you were throwing in the body triangles on me, and I just that week started looking up that Gordon Ryan, Nikki.
Where
I
they
can't
where they
think today,
grab
man.
the knee and do
The
this.
So I was like, "Oh, perfect opportunity to work this," and it was just absolutely trash for me. So I went
Well,
back to my professor. Okay,
I'd say it works great,
so
but it doesn't work at all against certain situations. But go ahead.
I went back to my professor, and I'm like, "All right." So I kept getting caught in this body triangle. I tried this, and I was just getting cross faced, and I was just like making it worse. And he was like, "Bro, go for this," and he just showed me putting the leg around and all in a whole different route. And it's like no one's body triangle me now at practice. So
That's
it's
awesome.
the same thing. It's like had I not had those, and that's the other thing too is like I'm not afraid to get a little bit playful, you know? Like sometimes there's rounds where it's like, all right, I got to take this serious, make sure I don't take a step backwards because I'm going to compete. But a lot of times I'm not afraid to get too playful with people because you get lessons out of it, you know?
Yeah. I mean, it is a game. I call it a game. You know, it's I think the only the only sports that are really not games are like the true like fight sports. Like boxing is not a game, And even then, in some
Mm-mm.
ways, it is a game. It's a game of tag, except the tag is like concussion tag. But like, I mean, jujitsu really is a game, and we're just playing around and finding different stuff. And yeah, like you said, the more playful it is, the more you get out of it. A lot of the time, it's a lot less stressful on the mind too, to just have fun and not worry so much. You know?
Oh yeah, I do better when I just let go and don't give a fuck. For real, competing and
Me
everything.
too.
If I show up to a competition and I got nerves, I'm like, I don't care. These people are freaking nerds.
Yeah.
And like
No facts.
I perform
One of
better
my
when I convince myself that way.
Some of my best performances are like in an absolute after I lose, and then I do like the absolute at IBJJF. Like those go great because I already lost. Same thing with like the third place consolation brackets. Like you just don't give a fuck. Uh, One tournament I showed up, I was up till like 4 a.m. and I was a little hungover, and it was just like I performed so good because it was just like, here we go, like whatever, like it wasn't, I didn't have that serious mindset because I was already like, dude, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here, but it ended up going really good because it was just like, I don't give a fuck today. Yeah. So it's just
That's
funny how
so
that
awesome.
goes. Yeah. And
Do
I
you
mean, it
think?
was
Do you
because
think jujitsu?
go ahead.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, it was
No,
like the
sorry, we're
guy
on a
told me
lag, so
about
I'm
it,
like
like,
I'm trying to figure it out.
guy told me about the competition like that night. And it was like a $400 bracket. And I was like, well, shit, I guess I'll go do that in the morning. Yeah. So that was how
That's
it went.
awesome.
Yeah.
Always ready.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Do you
when they
think
tell me there's
jujitsu is your
money,
identity?
no, that's another thing the
Uh,
stroke taught me is like you don't want to make something your identity like that. You know, I think that it's something I got to be careful of because you could argue that it is a big part of it is, but like at the end of the day, like I want to be known for being a good man and like a good friend and someone who's funny and likable and does good by the people around them. I'd much rather be known for that than like, oh, he's good at jujitsu. Like I'm very proud of how good I've gotten. I'm very proud of how hard I work. But like,
oh yeah.
one day I'm gonna be gone, and I hope when I'm remembered, it's that like, hey, he was a good guy. He was good to the people around him. Because if people say, yeah, he was a really great grappler, but he was a piece of shit, you know, treated the people around him bad, was not a good friend. Like I'd much rather be the other guy, even if I don't accomplish as much. I want to be a good human before I'm a good grappler.
Did
And I got work
I
to do,
saw
being a good human takes more work than being good at jujitsu. Like I have to work really hard, like I have selfish tendencies. I have my problems and I'm trying to be better just like anything else. Like I've got a lot of work to do though.
I mean, we all do, man, and
Yeah.
it's again, it's never perfected. It's just a grind. And
Yeah.
I saw on your thing, and it's kind of coincidental because the last interview I just did was with a pastor who does jujitsu, and we were talking about being a pastor, which is peaceful, but also being violent against people when you're training
Yeah.
and competing. But I saw you put something that like it's helped your relationship with God. Is that did the stroke get you closer to that? Is that what kind of put you on that
100%.
road, or were you already like that?
I had believed in God and I would pray at random times in my life, you know, but I
Mhm.
wasn't I wasn't nearly as close. I wasn't expressing my thankfulness and asking for guidance nearly as much, like after the stroke it made me realize that. And at first I was praying to God because it was like, why God, please help me, God. And then as it got better, it was just like thankfulness to God, gratefulness, and like I express gratefulness every day that I can remember. I pray pretty much every single day of my life. There are days that I miss it and then I feel really guilty because I'm like, I know I'm supposed to pray every day. So I try to pray every day, even if it's a short one. Um, and I got even closer because I was never religious. I just believed in God in my own way. But I've been around a lot of people. I'm around one of my closest friends is also a pastor who does jujitsu, super badass dude, Jose Pagan, really, really good grappler, really great guy. And people like him influenced me. And then I've had my own evidences that I've seen in my life. So, I'm a Christian now. I believe in Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, and like that's my belief. And yeah, I just think through life and all the things that have happened to me and everything, it's brought me closer and opened my eyes to it.
That's awesome. It's like has it taught you to stop, like, I don't want to call you selfish, but has it taught you to like be like more selfless?
Yes, and
Um,
again, it's not perfect yet, but it is something I'm doing better about now.
yeah, that's awesome because like me personally, that's something I'm kind of working through. I have like really, I would say Christian-y values and kind of look at things very similar how you look through, but I'm also finding my belief system in a way, right?
Yeah,
So like I'm not in my head, I'm not fully dedicated, but I'm not against anything. And I don't want it to take like a near death experience or a traumatic experience to push me to that because I feel like that's like
yeah,
extreme, you know? But it's great having these conversations and hearing people like you who, you know, it's weird how when people get to like, and I don't want to make you uncomfortable, but like was there a darkness like after your stroke? Did you feel kind of like not so
yeah,
invincible or like
yeah. I
kind
know. I
of
never felt so
depressed maybe?
vulnerable in my life, dude. And I realized how frail life is, and other things in
Mhm,
life have made me realize it too. I lost a very close friend just 2 weeks ago. I was at his funeral 2 days ago, so that's another thing that opens my eyes to like, man, we don't have long on on this planet. Even the longest we have is not long, but a lot of us will get ended very shortly. And yeah, I mean, I remember there was one day in particular, I just didn't know what I was gonna do in my life. This guy gave me a weed brownie, and I didn't realize that this was like a fucking nuclear level, like,
oh
I
my
don't know
gosh.
how much he put in it, but it was just like enough to make me have a full on panic attack. But like, so on top of having a panic attack, which I would have anyway, if my life was completely good, I would have had a panic attack. But I had the panic attack and was sitting
Mhm.
there and I'm like, I can't believe this is my life now. I'm like, I'm sitting here, I'm like partially blind. I'm missing this huge blind spot. I'm sitting here. I can't do jujitsu anymore. I'm a fucking stroke survivor. And like, is this my life now? Like, is this like I gotta go get a job and like I'm not gonna be this guy I thought I was. I thought I was gonna be this professional athlete. I thought I was gonna be all these things. And like now I just gotta be, a I don't wanna say it. Like I feel bad saying it like this, but like a regular person, doing a regular thing, like when I thought my life was gonna be extraordinary. And yeah, I was like bugging out.
did, did it well you got through it, right?
Yeah, I got through it. I mean, and it
I
was good for me. I mean, every time I have had those, because there's probably been like 5 or 6 times where I ate edible weed and I just absolutely lost my mind and thought I was gonna die. And it's so terrible, but I usually come away with a great realization about myself, I must say. It's just you have to suffer to do it.
I had something very similar. I was I like to drink. I used to be a part of like a whiskey club and all that stuff. And around COVID time, I went to my dad's house for Father's Day. And I remember sitting down with him and we had like 3 beers and a shot together. I didn't feel drunk or anything. Like I was like, "Huh, I'm not really feeling anything." So we left and I came home and I like walked my dog. And all of a sudden, when I was walking my dog, it's like everything hit me at the same time. Like my legs got weak. I got like very, like almost like I'm like a quarter mile down the street and I'm trying to act like I can walk straight. And in my head, I'm like getting sick out of nowhere. I'm nauseous. I feel like crap. Like I want this feeling to go away. And I'm just like poker facing my way home, trying to act like, I can get there. And I got home and I sat on the couch. I was uncomfortable for hours, man. And
Yeah,
that was like one of the last times where I'm like, I voluntarily put myself in that spot. And
yeah,
that's when I pretty much cut off drinking and everything. Like I was like, it's not worth it. I don't know why, but that was the time where I was like, I'd rather be able to train in the morning or I'd rather,
yeah.
be healthy or be in shape.
It's funny, I feel like it's almost like that rock bottom perspective where
Mhm.
I feel like the biggest enemy, and people have said this about like the biggest enemy of great is good. And I feel like the same thing is like the biggest enemy to you is like that halfway where it's like just enough where you don't feel terrible. Sometimes, and it's not like I'm recommending this to people. I definitely don't. But I will say, sometimes the thing that's able to push us to the edge to like actually help us make the change is like when it gets really bad. Like you drink too much or you eat too many edibles or whatever, and it's like that's what helps you quit. Because if you do a little bit, it doesn't make you want to quit. But like you go to that point and you're like, oh, I don't want to fucking live like this anymore. I don't want to do this anymore.
Dude, it
You
was
gotta hit rock bottom.
so we're talking about all this, I gotta ask you too, because we're talking about, you know, God and being better people and stuff. You're kind of at a gym that has a stigma, like the bad boys. You know what I mean? Do you
Yeah,
feel that
yeah.
way or not?
No, I definitely think that we
Is
have
that
that.
just all noise?
Oh yeah, no, we're such good people. I mean, the thing that blows my mind is when people go, "Well, I want to train there, but I don't want to get hurt." I'm like, dude, we don't hurt people. I mean, I I truly believe, like, from being around fight sports and Wagner and Cyborg, like, people when they walk in the gym, they get treated with respect. Like, brand new people, people who've been there a while, like, everybody gets treated with respect. You know, we're no different than really any other team, you know? We train hard,
Mhm.
but everybody trains hard. There's not like this crazy. Actually, I think there's much worse gyms when it comes to like injuring each other and going like insane, running into trash cans and running off the mat. Like we're not really like that, you know? We train hard, but again, I think everybody trains hard. I think every gym has days where they train hard.
Mhm.
We've definitely had our rap in the past with other stuff. That stuff all happened before I came there. So I didn't have to go through it at the gym. Like I had to go through it joining afterward and finding out and people kind of having a thing about fight sports. You know, I got blacklisted from a few events, but eventually that all died
Damn.
down. Yeah, you know, and it was weird to me because I'm like, dude, I ain't a part of that. And like I came here afterwards and yeah, luckily again that stuff didn't stick for too long. But yeah, there's a little bit of a
What
stigma
pulled
and
you into there?
huh?
Sorry, I keep cutting you off because we got a little bit of a lag, but what brought you in there? Just the
I
talent
was
or
training I had competed against this guy, Gene Nazon, and we faced each other twice in one day. And we just became really close after whatever. He's one of my best friends now. And just some people you hit it
oh,
off right
cool.
away. But he trained at Wagner's and you know, he told me about it. I had known about Wagner and you know, I didn't realize he's right. It's not that close to me, but he's in Hollywood, Florida. So I always like kept that in my mind on the back burner. After the stroke happened, I came back to jiu-jitsu and I was still training locally in Port St. Lucie. And I remember I was like going to this match with this guy, Mike Lugo, who I fucking talk about Mike Lugo to everybody because he was like my boogeyman. You know, he was the guy who, when I finally beat him, it made me realize how much better I got. But he actually was the guy, he beat the shit out of me the day I had a stroke. The first match we had was the day I had the stroke, funny enough. But our second match was a super fight. And I remember driving there and I was literally like crying because I was just thinking about I'm not going to win and I'm not doing enough and I'm never going to be as good as I want to be. I'm not doing the right things. So I wasn't crying because of like fear of losing. It wasn't about that. I was crying because I was like, man, I'm dedicating my life to this and it's not enough. Like I know I'm not going to make it. So like I kind of had that realization as like something's got to change. So I called Gene and I was like, I'm going to start coming to Wagner's. I'm like, you know, when is class? I'm going to come, you know? And it's like, dude, it's an hour and a half away. And I was like, I don't care. I'm gonna come try it. Tried it. I was used to just dominating everybody in the gym where I train around here. I was always like the best guy. I went there and just got mauled, and
Mhm.
I was like, I have to train here because I'm not used to that. Like where every
Oh,
person there was better than me. I'm like, holy shit, this is what I
yeah.
need, you know. And I rise to the occasion of anything I do. So I was getting beat by everybody when I got there. By the time I was there for like a month or two, completely switched it around and was getting the better of those people or neck and neck with those people. It's like you know, if you have the right mentality, you will rise to the level of anywhere you go. Rising tide lifts all ships is one of my favorite sayings.
Yep.
And like, I'm such a believer in that. So it's like, if you go somewhere and everybody's way better than you, it's just likely you're not in an environment like that. And if you put yourself in that environment and you're smart about it, you'll rise to it, you know? So
I've
that
still
that
got
that was
giants
all I
here
needed.
who beat my ass, but it'd be sounds like a wet dream to go to a gym and like feel like a white belt again. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's how I felt. It was like, dude, and Gene was like hyping me up because, you know, I had beaten him and we had good matches. So he was hyping me up to his friends, you know, and then I come there and just get
Oh,
my
nice.
ass whooped. And they're like, this is the guy you were talking about.
Fresh meat.
But yeah, but I always had the mentality. The thing that separates me, I think the number one thing that separates me from most people and why I got really good at jiu-jitsu is like my mind is extremely strong. It's extremely stubborn
Mhm.
and like those people might have beat the shit out of me, but I started showing up all the time, and it's like, I'll figure you out. You know, like if you roll with me once, you might fuck me up, but you roll me a second time, now you're having trouble. You roll me a third time, all of a sudden I'm getting the better of you. And I'm like that with a lot of people. Like that's genuinely how I usually am. You know?
Love it. That's yeah, and that's the way to get successful in the sport is you don't want to be the worst person in the room, but not the best person in the room. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely. No, you're
I've
much
always
better
liked
off going somewhere where you're not the best guy. You know, you really don't want to be that.
I've always liked
It's
having a boogeyman,
yeah, someone
like
that
you
you
said.
like, fuck, I don't want to. I have those too. I have those at the gym, and they're not even always the best guy, but it's like just this guy in particular. I don't like rolling with him, and I know I should roll with him because I see him, you know, like he doesn't show up to practice, and some days I'm a little relieved. I'm like, oh man, I'm like I didn't really want to go with him, so I'm kind of happy he's not here today. But then he shows up, and you're like, yeah, I got to get around with him, you know, because I don't want to. It's funny because me
I
and Enrico, one of my teammates, we're both like that for each other. Like Enrico doesn't like to roll with me, and I don't like to roll with him because we both know it's gonna suck, but we both know we got to do it. I'm like, well, shit, Enrico's
I'm
gonna
glad
fucking beat the crap out of me. I'm gonna beat the crap out of him. You know, like
I'm glad it's still that way at that because like I mean, I get that way sometimes too. I see somebody in the mats and I'm like, "Oh shit. Well, I guess I'm going to
yeah,
roll
like
with him."
man, I was hoping he
But
didn't come to open mat today. You know, like
I'm glad I'm not just a bitch. I'm glad that's normal.
no, it's definitely
'Cause
normal. And I mean, there are really high level guys at my gym
mhm,
who straight up tell me they're not gonna roll with me today. And like they always tell me, you know, I swear it's a compliment. You know, they always say that. Like, I swear it's a compliment to you, but like I'm not going with you today. You know, it's like they don't want to have that kind of day. I'm like, fair enough. You know, me, I'm more willing to do it because I drive so far that I'm like, well, I might as well get a lot out of this. You know, but if it was like
yeah,
10
you're
minutes for
invested
me,
at that
I would
point.
probably be way more willing to just go and kind of have a nicer, easier practice. But like I drive so far
Mhm.
that I'm like, okay, I need to have the toughest rounds I can. You know, because I can have my
Where you
easier
at right
rounds
now?
back home. I'm in Stewart. That's where I live.
Okay. I thought Alabama because of the PGF thing.
No, I just rep Alabama.
Oh, that's funny. I was like, "Oh, this guy came all the way from Alabama to work with Robert."
Yeah, no, I'm just very proud.
How do you get into PGF?
Well, you can win the qualifiers. That's a great way to do it. You can be a really big name in the sport to the point where they actually invite you. And then mine was like a
Mhm,
little in between. So I did a competition at a qualifier, but I didn't do the qualifier because the qualifier was for 155, which I don't do. But then
mhm,
my friend Heath, who's a very popular ref, he hosted a mini season of PGF for 175 at this qualifier. So while the qualifier was going on, they did a miniature PGF there. And I ended up winning the whole thing. And I choked the guy to sleep, like right in front of Brandon McCaffrin, who's the commissioner of the PGF. And I just like walked up right to him. I'm like, oh, yeah, am I on your radar now? You know, I was like, you keep me in mind, you know?
nice,
Um, yeah, and it was
nice.
awesome because that day I was not touted as the best guy there. And I wasn't the worst. I was like a top 3 pick, but still, you know, the top 2 guys were the guys that everybody was kind of looking at. And I barely made in the playoffs. Somebody had to get hurt for me to get in, but when I got in the playoffs, I made the most of it and I choked everybody out. And
Nice.
yeah, so Brandon
You
called me
got
like a year late. Like I totally forgot about it. He called me like almost a year later, and I was just shocked. And I was so happy when he was like, "You want to go to the draft?" I'm like, "Dude, fuck yeah! I've always liked the PGF." So when he called me, I was super stoked, and it was an amazing experience. I'm so glad I did it, and I'll definitely do it again. You know?
it was I remember seeing it on TV. I was like I came home one day, I turned on YouTube, and there's this, like, live jiu-jitsu tournament thing I never heard about. I'm like, "Huh." So I turned it on, and coincidentally, my buddy, you know oh, man, is it Five Finger Death Punch? The black belt, the guy
Yeah,
from
yeah,
there? You know what I'm
Zoltan,
talking about?
right? Yeah,
Yeah, my buddy was just showing me I guess he's interviewed that guy, and he was just showing me videos of him, and I'm like, "That's a nice ass gym." Like, "No, man, that's his house," or something like that,
yeah. He lives
and
in
I
like a castle.
coincidentally yeah, that's what it looked like, and I come home and I turn on, this PJF event, and I'm like, they've got, like, sofas around the mat. These people are just
It's
coming out
it's
and doing grappling.
It's
It
super
was a
weird.
good. There's, I don't know. It was good matches, but you
I
just
think
see
it's
these guys,
the
and then I noticed that guy was sitting.
it's the best format of jiu-jitsu ever. I think it's the most entertaining, the most fun, the coolest looking. Like, and I mean,
Mhm.
maybe I'm biased because I was a part of it, but I really believe like it is the most fan-friendly version of jiu-jitsu. And you know, if you're not into jiu-jitsu and you watch, it's the first time my parents ever like followed something and were like remembering people's names. That never happens. They were like, oh, Chewy Magana, you know, fucking Sean Malance and Sam Schwartz. It felt like they were like remembering these guys, and they were kind of becoming fans of other people, which told me, wow, this is really good, because normally they only watch me
I
and they
liked
don't
it.
remember anybody and they don't care, but they're like invested in the entire league and they're like kind of becoming a fan. And then my friend Travis, my teammate on the Twisters, Travis Haven, his mom was like the biggest PGF fan ever. She fucking knew everybody and everything, and like, you know, it was just so cool. And it really told me, wow, this is something special, because people who don't follow jujitsu are invested in this. Like they're invested in the entire league, you know, not just their friend or their son's matches, but like they're watching the whole episode, the whole fucking game, and
Mhm.
getting invested in them. And I'm like, this is something special, and I want to be a part of it, because I know one day it's gonna blow up. And I'm happy to have been there, not at the beginning, but like in the early stages where it was still growing, you know, because I think it's going to be something really big.
I think this round it did grow pretty big because
This was
when
the
I
biggest
first
season they
saw
had
it,
for sure.
yeah, okay, because when I first saw it, like I was like, this is a strange setup, but it's kind of cool. And then I and then like now I talk to a lot of people who are exactly, they know what it is. They know everything about it. I was like, this is cool. It's I got to go sometime. I don't know if they sell tickets or what, or
No,
who knows.
you
Maybe.
have to like get put on a guest list. They don't as of now,
Oh,
but they are going to do their big dream is to one day do home games. It's just going to be so expensive to fly people in and out and like have the venues and stuff. So it's a little bit down the line, but their dream is to like have like 16 or 20 teams and do home and away games and sell out, you know, stadiums and arenas, and do exactly what the
whoa.
NFL and NBA do. Instead of copying like the UFC or other grappling promotions, which is what every grappling promotion does, they're trying to copy NBA, NFL. Like they're trying to copy that format, you know, which I love. I think
That's
I've kind of always thought that was the key for jujitsu. I've said that for years. I'm like, the way for jujitsu to get big is not these little pay-per-view shows on Flow Grappling, or it's like, it's to somehow become like a televised sport, you know?
mhm.
So, I mean,
They're
I
they're
think
definitely they're definitely entertaining. Like I didn't really see many boring matches there at all.
the shot clock helps with that. It's a little stressful for the athletes, but I mean, it's very fun for people to watch.